Looking for some digital magic to help you through your week? The Kingdom Report is here for you, covering the latest Disneyland and Disney World news, experiences, and events. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Kingdom Report Live so you never miss an update. And drop a subscribe on the Kingdom Report YouTube channel for new videos every week. Don't miss out. Join this growing community of theme park fans as we aim to connect you to more of what makes you happy. For more information, visit KingdomReportLive.com. And now, back to the magic.
Remember those carefree days of childhood where the magic still existed? When you didn't feel guilty about eating mountains of cereal with, we'll just say, questionable nutrition? Well, now you can have your cereal and you can eat it too. Because Magic Spoon has re-engineered that same great taste with grown-up ingredients for an absolutely game-changing Cereal 2.0. I adore cereal. I treasure cereal. It's one of my favorite things to eat, but I just can't justify eating mounds of sugar in every bowl. I don't need to worry about that with Magic Spoon, because it's high protein, low carb, and 0 grams of sugar in each serving. I know, it's hard to believe, but it also comes in 6 delicious flavors: frosted, fruity, cocoa, cinnamon, blueberry, and peanut butter. Plus, they've got limited edition flavors released throughout the year, like gingerbread or peaches and cream. So taste that magic of childhood all over again and get yourself some Magic Spoon cereal. Plus, take $5 off your order at checkout. All you got to do is insert the promo code Kingdom Team. That's right, Kingdom Team at checkout will get you $5 off your next order at MagicSpoon.com. That's MagicSpoon.com. Promo code Kingdom Team. It is a great day to talk Disney news. So happy you could be here with us, friends. Some of the stories that we are working on for you out at Walt Disney World annual passes are back on sale. However, some significant delays this week when it came to processing those passes on the Disney digital platform. Our own Garrett Hassel is here to share his firsthand experience with just that. And Halloween 2023 coming back to us at the Disneyland Resort and the Walt Disney World Resort. All the details when it comes to both coasts and Halloween this year. We are also going to explore the refresh that Walt Disney World is doing to the Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground. The pretty unique look. The Disneyland Hotel Disney Vacation Club Tower has also been inching ever so closer to opening up, as it will later this year. And we have some new information to share with you all about how hard it might be to get into that tower. The Disneyland Resort ticketing computer crash chaos fiasco, I guess we could call it, happened earlier this week as well, keeping thousands of people outside of the main entrance to both Disneyland and California Adventure. We will be chatting about that. So much to get to, so much to talk about here on this broadcast. Like I said, we are grateful to have you with us, and we love rewarding you for watching this show. All you have to do to win your very own Kingdom Report mug is leave the phrase that pays this week. Underneath this video following the live broadcast, leave the phrase Pixar Pier. That's right, Pixar Pier is the phrase that pays this week. You have between now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time in which to enter. If you are the winner, we'll reach out to you directly and get this mug sent your direction. Again, after the live show, leave the phrase that pays Pixar Pier underneath this video, and you are entered to win. Good luck to you, and the show begins next, right after the countdown. Disney News Talk Live is here, and welcome to it, everybody. How's it going? I'm Wade Heath, joining you once again to cover all the latest Disney news from coast to coast, Disneyland to Walt Disney World, and of course, lots in which to talk about, as mentioned at the top of the program, with that whole rundown of stories we are going to be covering. Who's we, you may be asking? Who on earth could be a part of this show? Well, believe it or not, we have the whole team here. I know it might be hard to believe, but joining me this week is our very own Garrett Hassel. What's up, buddy?
Aloha, everyone. Hope you're having a fantastic Saturday, whether it's sunny or rainy or snowy. It's a great day to talk about anything Disney parks, and it honestly is the best part about my week.
Aw, best part about my week.
Aw, thanks.
Virtual high five.
Virtual high five, and I'll give you a virtual fist bump as well.
Wow.
Thanks, Owen.
Owen's got it. He knows.
Yeah.
And joining us, Tyler Crouch. Hey, buddy.
Well, hello. How are you guys this beautiful Saturday?
Feeling magical.
Well,
as always.
I'd be more magical if I had a mug, but I still don't have a mug. So
listen, this guy's got. Don't let him manipulate you, audience. This guy's got two King and Report polos.
I do, but I want more. I'm very selfish. I want a mug.
All right.
You can head on over to kingdomreportlive.com and down to the store you scroll, get your very own Kingdom Report mug now, or you can attempt to win, as we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, although you're excluded from that contest because you're a part of the show. Well, sorry, bud.
I guess I'll go to the store real fast.
Womp,
get a hot pink one.
Ooh.
Speaking of hot pink, travel agent Katrina Manzoni's here.
Oh, that's me. Hi,
with
everybody.
her
Happy
hot pink
Earth
mug.
Day. I know. Look at that pink mug. That's right. Represent.
Wow.
This crowd has never been louder.
I already got a standing ovation.
Was that loud?
We're like 3 minutes in. It's amazing.
This crowd is full of enthusiasm because it is the 25th anniversary of Disney's Animal Kingdom, ladies and gentlemen.
Happy birthday, Animal Kingdom.
Yes. Let's
Yay,
go.
happy birthday.
Can you even believe it's been 25 years since that park has opened? And so much has been added over the course of that time, from just a simple park, sort of about the idea and conceptualization of celebrating animals, to what we have today, Pandora, World of Avatar.
Yeah, it's been a weird journey. I mean, at one point we were supposed to have dragons back there in that corner of the park, and
now we got banshees.
Now we got banshees. Yeah, exactly.
I want to give a special shout out to the man, the myth, the Imagineering legend, Joe Rohde, who, made that entire park come to existence, because he's got the dangly earring, but he is a mastermind, and he got Jane Goodall to come to the dedication when it opened. So yeah, I got to give nothing but a tip of the hat and tip of the earring to him.
Tip of the earring.
Yeah,
tip of the earring. There you go. Yeah. I think more than a lot of the other Disney parks, Animal Kingdom somehow feels like it has the most heart to it. I don't know if you guys would agree. I mean, Disneyland, of course, I think tops them all, but I think that Animal Kingdom just has this kind of, you bring up Joe Rohde, and it does kind of feel like it was just such his baby, and and the attention to detail in that park is just kind of above and beyond the other ones, I feel like, in a certain degree.
Tremendous amount of detail in that park. Everywhere you go, feels like you are immersed in that story, which is really cool. And everywhere I walk in that park, I often feel like, man, have I been here before? Is this new? Is this unique? Because the place keeps growing. The place keeps expanding on its own in terms of growth of so much of the live atmosphere. And I'm a big fan of that myself. And we're asking everybody today your best Animal Kingdom memories. We celebrate the 25th anniversary of Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park. Your best Animal Kingdom memory. I think back to some of the experiences that I have had at Animal Kingdom. And one that really stands out to me, just in terms of probably the best of the best, definitely up there, happens to be when I was selected, along with my buddy Eric, who I was partying with that day at the Disney parks. We got selected to be a part of Mickey's Jammin' Jungle Parade.
And that's old school. That's going back.
Really is.
Wow, look at you. Yeah.
That's cool.
Isn't that neat? We had a great time.
Wow.
Me and my safari vest and helmet.
That hat, the pith helmet. Love it.
Great. Just in case, you never know. Adventure is out there. And that top corner photo there, that's, obviously the vantage point of me at that area, that specific section. So that's what I saw as I looked out onto the throngs of thousands in that park. Kind of miss Animal Kingdom having a parade.
Yeah, I kind of forgot they even did stuff like this at a certain point. It's been so long.
It's a pretty special experience. I know that a handful of folks were selected daily to be a part of this parade, and I believe Eric was the one who got selected, as a matter of fact. So it wasn't even me. He got approached, and they were like, "Hey, want to be in a parade?" And so he came over to me, and he was like, "We have plans this afternoon." And off we went to be in the Jammin' Jungle Parade. Garrett, I know for you, when it comes to Animal Kingdom, you have a very special memory, don't you?
I do. It would have to be, tagging along with one of my best buddies, Mr. Tyler Crouch, and going on the most, calming and relaxing ride there is called Expedition Everest, and I detest that ride. It does not like me. As you can see from the photo, I am just tears of joy because I'm like, man, this is so fun. And Tyler after this was like, let's do it again. And I'm like, yeah, buddy. Yeah, no. I hate it. And yeah, Expedition Everest and I have a very interesting relationship. We're going to counseling and it's not looking good right now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
Well,
you look on the verge of tears there.
I'm on the verge of something.
Next time we're in Florida together, I'm sorry, this has to happen once again.
There's only a few people I would ever go on this attraction for. Since Katrina declines every time, I'll go with you, Tyler. I'll go with you.
I'll hold your hand the whole time. Don't worry.
Please do, and please hold my
will.
hair back in case anything lands in it.
Okay. I don't know. Whatever's gonna land in your hair. I don't know if I want it on my hand, but okay, I'll try.
Got to do what you got to do. Hope saying my favorite Animal Kingdom memory was riding Expedition Everest and telling that Yeti grrr. See, Hope understands what you need to do on that attraction, Garrett.
I tried yelling, but all it came out was a high-pitched squeal. I was like, ah! Yeah, it didn't work out very well.
I can't even yell when I'm on
screamies.
a scary ride.
Yeah, she's very. I know when Katrina is absolutely terrified because I just hear nothing but silence next to me.
It's
like,
true. And then
did you even come? Were you here today? Did you even show up?
Yeah, I think I've only heard her say like, we went on Hagrid's one time and the loudest I've ever heard her is just saying, I can't do this. I can't do this.
So that's when we hear the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
but it was
pretty
very
much it.
quiet. It was very quiet. I can't do this.
Until the end, and then I'm like, ooh, unicorn.
It was all worth it.
The unicorn won her over.
Yeah.
Well, Lori Jean saying my favorite memory of Disney's Animal Kingdom is Dinosaur Ride, which of course she followed up with Dinosaur and Indy are essentially the same attraction. Indiana Jones Adventure out of Disneyland, that's for sure.
They are
same track.
Same track. I will say that same track. It's the closest thing on the East Coast you can get to Indiana Jones.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
CB saying Animal Kingdom was the first park on the very first trip to Disney World. So amazing. Interesting to start out at Animal Kingdom and then work from there. I know so many people just run off to Magic Kingdom and make that, park number one. But to go Animal Kingdom first and then work your way through. I always like having Animal Kingdom in the middle of my park going experience because I feel like it's a lot less chaotic. It's a lot more soothing in a sense. I feel like it's much more relaxing. Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Palate cleansing.
Yeah.
And Tyler, when it comes to Animal Kingdom, favorite memory for you?
Well, I am going back many, many years now to kind of the beginning of Animal Kingdom. I remember that my dad and I had a trip planned. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but when I was leaving 6th grade and going into junior high into 7th grade, my dad took me on a month-long trip to Magic Kingdom to Disney World. And
month-long.
Yeah,
wow.
it was incredible. It was really great. We were there forever. But it was back when you started making these trips, Disney would send you these VHS tapes.
Oh.
And they'd kind of had like, here's what you have to expect. And Animal Kingdom was like a brand new park at that point. Like it was just like finally coming open. So I got to, I watched that VHS maybe 1,000 times. And I was so excited to go to Animal Kingdom. And when we finally went, this was back when like the Discovery boat ride was still there. They had Asia was not even open yet. There was no Asia. So the park wasn't even a full circle. There was like a dead end at the end.
Oh my gosh.
And so I just have really fond memories of being there with my dad and watching. I saw It's Tough to Be a Bug before I saw A Bug's Life, because It's Tough to Be a Bug came out, I think, in April, and Bug's Life came out in November of.
Is that right?
Yeah, in 1998. So I loved it. I was like, this is like the best 3D movie I've ever seen. And so we watched that show like probably the same amount of times I watched that VHS tape, just over and over again. And one of the funny things too was my dad was a dentist, and I remember going on Dinosaur which at the time was called Countdown to Extinction.
Right.
And, yeah, and we get into the room where all the time travel rovers are, and it smells like kind of like fake smoke, fog machines and whatever. And this lady in front of us goes, God, it smells like a dentist office in here. and my dad looks at me and he's like, it doesn't smell like my office. And so anyway, I just have a lot of fond memories of, I remember going on Kilimanjaro Safari when they still had the poacher storyline.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they had a poacher that was hunting down the elephants. And anyway, lots of fond memories of early days at Animal Kingdom with my father. So that's what I look back on when I think about Animal Kingdom.
That's pretty special.
Yeah.
Sam saying Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Epcot is my usual park cycle when I go to Disney World. So you keep Animal Kingdom in there after 2 days of pounding that concrete. Good idea, Sam. Very, very smart. That's for sure. So I like seeing that. And Katrina, a special memory you have from Animal Kingdom?
Oh man, special memories. Honestly, I feel like there's like two little ones, but one big one is Yak and Yeti. Like learning about Yak and Yeti, the restaurant, blew my mind. It was really great. It was really silly, but we walk in. It was like a hot day. We got in. I wasn't really hungry, so I ordered a kids meal, and it was like gluten-free, pad thai type of thing. Yeah. And it was really great, but it was this like little white girl, and then she's just like namaste, and I was like, oh my gosh. But it was like the funniest thing, and so she was like the nicest person. But now I have to always go back to Yak and Yeti because it's just like the best food ever, and it comes out piping hot too, which is like unheard of really in like a theme park setting, because usually it's like kind of like warm,
warm quadrant.
Yak and Yeti, man, it's like piping hot. And then the next one was when we went on like Kilimanjaro Safari one day, and we were driving away, and the lion roared, and it roared so loud, like my chest vibrated.
Oh my gosh.
It was really neat. It was really cool because you couldn't picture it like more perfectly, because the lion jumped up on the highest rock, kind of like a Lion King type thing. And we were driving away, and I was like, how legit? And then all of a sudden he roared, and I was like, stop it.
It's like great. I'm in a movie.
I know. It's like I'm in a movie. It was great. That was like my little fun little memories.
That's fantastic. What an experience to be able to say, not only was I able to see particular animals along that stretch, but then to have the experience everybody wants most of all and never gets is pretty awesome.
It was really neat. I loved it.
And that became the tagline for our whole trip, by the way. Namaste.
It really was, yeah.
Just the way the girl said it too. Namaste.
I like that. Namaste. See, that's going to be our thing now. We're going to start doing that to each other.
Yeah, let's do it. It was every time we go to Yak and Yeti, we just look at each other and we're like waiting for someone to say it, and then they don't say it, and then I'm like, I'm going to say it. Namaste.
I went to Magic Kingdom with a different friend in 2014, somewhere in there. I guess maybe this was a later trip. It was maybe it was 2019, much later. So yeah, I think it was because it was their first time being there since New Fantasyland had opened, and yeah, I think that was what it was. So at any rate, we walked up to Enchanted Tales with Belle, and my friend, she had asked, hey, are we too late? And the cast member outside, because it didn't look like anybody was going in, the cast member outside said, a bonjour. And so that became our shtick the whole rest of the trip was bonjour.
Bonjour.
Gotta have that themed greeting.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Yes, you do, yep.
Remind me we're in France, in New Fantasyland, that's for sure. So that was pretty cool. Well, we move along to the stories of the week. First up, Walt Disney World resumed selling annual passes. If you hadn't heard, well, now you have. Mm-hmm. Walt Disney World back with those annual passes after a long break. Fox 35 writes that while many were able to purchase annual passes to Walt Disney World or upgrade existing passes, several others found themselves waiting for hours in a virtual queue for the chance to buy one. Disney said all of its passes were still available, the Pixie, Pirate, Sorcerer, and Increda Pass, though some passes could become unavailable for purchase anytime this past Friday when things resumed. Walt Disney World said it would pause annual pass sales at 11 p.m. this past Thursday and would resume it no earlier than 7:15 a.m. on Friday, saying guests will remain in the queue overnight as long as they remain connected to the network and keep their browser open, Disney said in an update on its website. Sales for Walt Disney World annual passes continued Friday morning after pausing those sales overnight, and Disney said due to the high popularity for the theme park passes, wait times in the virtual queue could be several hours. Well, we have a first-hand encounter with all of this. Garrett Hassel,
Yes.
our Florida reporter, happened to be purchasing his annual pass. What
did
did
indeed.
you experience?
Well, the best comparison for this would be Flight of Passage, and I'll run you through it. So, I wake up and I hop in I get ready, and then I enter the queue, going through the ride and everything like that. I enter the queue, but before that, there's a 40-minute delay because it doesn't actually go online until 6:40 Eastern Standard Time. So, on my limited sleep, I'm just like annoyed at this point. But then enter the queue, and it's like, hey, more than an hour. We'll see you when you get there. Cool. And then time goes by, take little mini naps, get up, and then it's like, all right, 2 minutes to go. It's go time. And so I enter like in Flight of Passage, everything's going good. But then
Whoa.
things go wrong. And so I get through. It's like, hey, what pass do you want? I'm like, well, know what? I got to have that Incredipass pass because it's incredible. And, why don't I spend, that amount of money at one time? I'm sure my credit card will really love that. So I go for the Incredipass pass, and then I hit checkout. Takes several times for load. Hey, we're processing. Please do not hit back or close the page or anything. I'm like, okay. And then that happened 7 times or so. I'm like
7 times.
And then I get to the next page, and it's like 504 gateway error. So I couldn't even go through. And you would think Disney, with how powerful they are and how much money they are and how much money they're getting in such a short amount of time, at like 8 a.m., that they would have all their servers on. They did not. So their servers shut down 4 or 5 times. It's like, hey, it's not processing. We need you to empty your cart and re-enter. And so I was getting frustrated at this point. And I tried calling the number. The number to call was completely full, where it's like, your number, your call cannot be completed as dial as the line is full. And I'm thinking, wow, that's incredible. So then that goes on, but then I'm like, no, what? I'm going to be patient. I hit refresh, and then it's like, we apologize for the inconvenience. And pretty much they closed the entire page down, and then tried refreshing a few more times. And needless to say, end of the story, I managed to finally add the pass to my cart. I managed to purchase it, and then it was like, congratulations, you're now an annual pass holder. And so it ended just like Flight of Passage did, which is with a nice sunset as I crawled back to sleep.
Wow, but
it was a very long, it was a long morning, despite not much happening in the first half. It was all at the end where, multiple servers shut down. You can't call anyone, can't contact anyone. And then the dreaded fear of, if I empty my cart, will it say, hey, you stepped out of line, you got to re-enter the queue and start all over again. I would have been very annoyed and frustrated at that point, because they give you this like cart code, but when they tell you to remove all your stuff, the cart code goes away. So needless to say, I hope Disney in the future fixes this, but I figured, know what, I'd rather get in there early and do this now and then renew it for here on out than having to, wait and possibly miss out on it, because they're not going to be sold forever. There's going to be a cap on how many. I don't know the number, but I figure it's better to be the early bird gets the worm. That will be the moral of the story. So exhausting, but well worth the experience for now.
did it have you feeling sort of like?
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the rise.
I can see that face being made during this experience.
Would you rather go through this again or go through Everest?
Ooh, good question.
I'd rather how many times am I doing Everest? Am I doing Everest just because Everest is one and done, and then after 5 minutes and drinking a Sprite, I'm good to go. I lost several hours of sleep over the annual pass, so I'll take Everest.
How was your heart rate?
How high was my heart rate? It was up in the 300s, I think.
We should put something on him next time. 300. Yeah. I'm surprised he's still alive.
Yeah, the cardiologist was not very happy with me that morning.
Wow.
But it was it was a very exciting Thursday to say the least. So yeah, got an annual pass. So get ready, Walt Disney World. I'm about to do some damage getting that free parking.
Oh, look out. And
Woo.
Sam saying, why can't we have cool pass names? Well, Sam, you don't think the Incredipass is incredible?
I can't.
Yeah.
Like the Pixie Pass, it sounds like something at like an EDM concert.
Sam saying Incredipass is kind of bad, but Sorcerer is pretty rad.
Hey,
I'm sure you meant to rhyme there, Sam. Very nice.
I like it. I like the idea, Sam.
What a nightmarish scenario, especially to have read that they decided to lock people in overnight, basically, and like, just don't lose connection to the network. You'll be fine.
Oh, on top of that, at 4:45, there was a alert that was sent out to all Apple iPhones in Florida. So not only do you get the alert of like, hey, this is a test warning the morning of this, but then you have to then wake up an hour later to then log in. So that was exciting, to say the least.
Oh. Boy, you were having a great week, and I know that the IT issues were not just out at Walt Disney World this week. In fact, out west, the Disneyland Resort experienced a little something on their own, as the LA Times reports, between the cost and the crowds, getting into the Disneyland Resort has become difficult for many. But on Thursday, a computer system hiccup made getting into the parks temporarily impossible. The park's ticketing system experienced an outage of about 30 minutes Thursday that affected the turnstiles, Disneyland officials said. As a result, hundreds of guests congregated in the center promenade between the entrances to Disneyland and California Adventure as they awaited entry. Now, we've heard reports that it got up to the thousands out there, 30 minutes, especially in the sort of late morning. That is prime time for people coming into these parks. Rebecca Sarian, a resort employee who works at California Adventure, was attending the park on her own time Thursday and was caught up in the snafu. Quote, a cast member walked down the line and was letting everyone know that the main system was down and we were going to be sitting tight for quite a while. Sarian said the resort's parking system experienced issues as well, with some people, including her sister, being allowed to park for free. Despite the extended wait to get into the park, Sarian said guests were mostly understanding, saying, quote, everybody around me, for the most part, were actually pretty nice and considerate. Of course, the story again comes to us from the LA Times. Tyler, this is something IT-wise that we see an awful lot of. If it isn't the platforms for the sake of, virtual queues and buying things, getting set back, getting delayed. Garrett's experience is a great one every time we go to buy something online, a special ticketed event. It becomes chaotic, it becomes problematic, it becomes a delay, and we wait for hours. Now, fortunately, this was only 30 minutes. However, this was a situation where basically thousands of people got sort of globbed up in between the two parks, and that space really isn't all that big between a California Adventure and Disneyland's main entrance. They face each other for those who haven't been there, and so these lines often touch on normal days when there aren't technological problems. Could you imagine being in the middle of this?
No, this seems like it would be terrible. I think that obviously just technical errors happen, and we can't be too upset over them, I guess. Like something like this, for example, like obviously Disney, wants your money, wants you to be in that park. So they're not doing this. They're trying as hard as they can to avoid this. And this, I can't remember the last time this sort of thing happened. So it's not like it happens on a regular basis. Now, with the buying of the special event tickets and stuff, and like what Garrett just went through with the annual pass, I feel like something does need to be done about that, because it's crazy how long you have to wait in line for some of this stuff. And even when we got our Pride Night tickets, I had to wait in line for 4 or 5 minutes, which is nothing compared to what Garrett had to go through. But it's still something where I'm seeing people on Twitter and stuff be like, I'm more than happy to go to Universal because they take my money whenever I give it to them,
Right.
Whereas Disney is has this whole line system, and I guess they just expect, hey, we're Disney, it's going to sell out no matter what. But I to answer your question, long story short, I could not imagine being stuck in this huge crowd, and it seems like, how do you even get answers? Like, how do you know, like what? I feel like it would just be confusing to be there. It'd be like, what's happening? I guess you start making friends with everybody and figure out, you got to get to the bottom of it. Y'all super sleuth together.
Super sleuthing it. Yeah. And
exactly.
Katrina, I know as a travel agent especially, you spend some long wait times on the digital platforms in and around Disney to try and get people what they want and need. Your thoughts on this big backup and a technological snafu keeping people outside?
Yeah, I mean, like what Tyler said, this one can't be helped like that. I mean, it really sucks. I mean, I would not be happy. I feel like as a travel agent, my guest was in this line, I probably would feel horrible. But in the end, it's not my fault, and it is Disney's fault in a way. But also, they're trying to work on it to get it done. I feel like it was only down for 30 minutes, but yes, it's kind of like a ripple effect in a way, because it was only down for 30 minutes, but now there's so many people in the queue. Now they have to start letting in and whatnot, that it's going to take a while for you to actually get in. I feel like Disney probably would have done something if it was longer than about an hour or so, but I mean, it sucks. It's a waste of your time at that point. I probably would just leave and go do something else. I was reading on Twitter the other day when it shut down, being like, what are you guys doing standing in line? Go to a bar and go get a drink and waste your time. And I was like, that's a great idea. Go to Starbucks, go eat something. It'll work itself out soon. Like, why are you going to wait in the sun for so long? Like, just try to go do something else and keep yourself occupied.
But you put yourself in the shoes of a family with kids whose only idea is to get into that park and get yourself, enjoying some things like Space Mountain or some sort of, major attraction that they've had their heart set on, to be backed up for 30 straight minutes, not really know what's going on, and then to have those lines become sort of the mass humanity that we've all come to know as those lines can be. That's got to be pretty disheartening.
I mean, it is definitely disheartening for sure, but I think, I guess in my mind, I would rather try to go do something else, or at least have like if I was with Tyler and we had kids, I would probably tell Tyler, go get an ice cream and bring it back, to try to get the mind off of something. Because if you're standing in line watching everybody bicker and moan and get upset about it, you're going to become upset, right? So it's not going to help anybody unless you're having, your kids have their phone and they're watching something and you're like, oh, whatever. I have if I'm in the front, no, I'm not going to leave. But if I'm in the back and I see this huge line, I'm going to be like, no, I'm good. And then try to do something else, like even go get an ice cream or something and share it with your kids, or at least go for a walk, and waste your time at that point. If you're at the front, no, of course, you're going to want to stay in the front because you'll be the first ones in. But if you're way in the back and just got there and you see this line, I mean, I would say go do something else. Go for a walk.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because Sam shares something very similar. And he says, I feel like this has never happened before. I'd cut Disneyland Resort a break for the system going down and go get Starbucks or a Sprinkles cupcake. Well, can't do that anymore, can we? Until they figure it all out. Yeah. But he had the same idea.
But Starbucks for sure. At least do something. I mean, I wouldn't take my kid through World of Disney, because then you have to buy, definitely buy a toy or something. But at least share an ice cream, or kind of waste your time at some point. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And we have a question for our audience. Have you ever struggled with Disney IT for anything? Have you ever tried to buy something? Have you ever been in a situation where you couldn't get into the park and maybe it was a technical error on Disney's part? We would love to hear from you. I know that everything from Photo Pass photos and the Disney Genie Plus system and all kinds of intricacies between the systems that need to talk to each other that often don't usually create these problems for folks. So if you have ever struggled with Disney IT for anything, we would love to hear from you. Sound off in live chat, or if you're watching on demand after the fact, which we know the majority of you do, go ahead and leave that comment down below. And we are all about the seasonal spirit up in here.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you've heard, Halloween is halfway here.
What?
I know.
So
In fact,
soon? It comes again every year? It's not just a one-time thing?
well, maybe last year it felt like a
Oh.
one-time thing, but this year they're bringing it back.
That's
You
amazing.
can believe it. And
like it.
Halloween is coming to both coasts as the Halfway to Halloween celebration has begun, according to the Disney Parks blog. And they are sharing all the details with us as to Halloween at Disneyland and Disney World for the 2023 season. TravelPulse.com shares the following, saying that Walt Disney World has announced that Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party will return on August 11th and will run on select dates through November the 1st. The nighttime events start at 7 p.m. and are limited capacity, providing visitors with shorter wait times on attractions and themed food and beverage offerings. Tickets go on sale to travelers staying at select Disney World hotels on April the 27th and to the general public on May the 2nd. Event dates for the 2023 edition of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party stretch all the way from August through November, and this year's Halloween events will feature the return of Mickey's Boo to You Halloween Parade down Main Street, USA, Disney's Not So Spooky Spectacular Lighting and Fireworks Show, trick-or-treating locations, photo ops, and a lot more. Fans of the popular Hocus Pocus films will also have the chance to experience the Sanderson sisters as part of the Hocus Pocus Villain Spelltacular stage show at Cinderella Castle. Visitors can also experience other popular themed attractions, including Haunted Mansion, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and the new Tron Light Cycle Run, presented by Enterprise. Inside the Magic reports out west that the Disney Parks blog has announced the return of the fan-favorite event Oogie Boogie Bash, a Disney Halloween party taking over California Adventure this upcoming Halloween season. The separately ticketed, limited-capacity after-hours event lets guests of all ages don their favorite costume, whether Disney-inspired or themed to other stories and characters, to have a frightfully fun time at the park. Disneyland Park will also join the Halloween fun, welcoming spectacular decorations, including the iconic Mickey Mouse pumpkin that greets guests as they enter Main Street, USA, mouth-watering snacks, and all-new seasonal outfits for Mickey and Minnie Mouse and their friends. And per Disney Parks blog, this year they'll don luminescent sheer fabrics that will give a ghostly glow to their festive new ensembles at Disneyland Park. Be on the lookout, they say, for lots of cobwebs and details like bat bow ties and spider-shaped bells. Unfortunately, Disney has not outlined specifics when it comes to dates for the Oogie Boogie Bash just yet, only select nights this fall. Thank you to Travel Pulse and Inside the Magic for those words. Geared out east, I know that there's an awful lot of fanfare when it comes to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Are you somebody that likes the Halloween season over all else? Certainly a lot of resources have been pumped into it by Disney in recent years. Halloween seems to be a big go time for them. And then also having parties all the way up through November the 1st now. I find that quite interesting.
Yeah.
What's your take on Halloween out east?
So if we're just talking Magic Kingdom alone, not including all 4 parks, then Magic Kingdom during Halloween takes the cake. I do love the holiday season most of all, like when it's Christmas at all 4 parks, because I think it creates a great environment. But if we're just talking Halloween for one park, Magic Kingdom is the place to be. It just has so much life and energy, and the cast members seem so happy, and everyone's in a great mood. And what they've recently been doing, where they've been having, the live actors on Pirates, or just adding new character meet and greets, and especially having the Sanderson sisters take over the castle. It is a great show, and I really enjoy Magic Kingdom during the holiday season or Halloween season, because even if you don't want to do the trick-or-treating, you can still go on the rides, because there are shorter wait times, because people are usually waiting to see the fireworks, or they're waiting to meet characters. So I think it has something for everyone, and I really look forward to it. One of my fondest memories is when I went there with Ariel, and we went dressed as Tadashi and Honey Lemon from Big Hero 6,
That's great.
and people recognized us, and they're like, that's the best costume. We never see Big Hero 6. We love it. Well, I couldn't go dressed as Baymax. I didn't, have a leaf blower that could last 8 hours while I'm running around there to keep me inflated. So, but it was a lot of fun. Everyone seems really into it, and it's the few times that adults can dress up, because usually as an adult you're not allowed to, because can mess with certain things. But yeah, Halloween, Magic Kingdom, it's a great time. Mickey's Not So Scary, it is amazing. I have yet to experience Oogie Boogie Bash. So I need to make my way out west. But until then, I'll keep a post on the East Coast, and I'll telegram you how it's going.
We definitely need to bring you out for a little Oogie Boogie. Tyler,
Yeah.
tell Garrett what he's missing when it comes to Oogie Boogie Bash, and we all know that you are the biggest of Halloween fans.
Oh man, I'm so excited. I'm not gonna lie. When they first showed Mickey and Minnie's new costume this year, over on the right-hand side of your screen there, they show them on Main Street in Disneyland, and I kind of freaked out for a second that the party was gonna be back in Disneyland. But I'm so happy to hear that it's still in California Adventure, because it just feels like it's just right over there. I don't know. I mean, I can't wait to go this year, because we missed out on tickets last year. Now I know they're gonna go, and I'm gonna be on my computer that the minute they come available, and I'm gonna be doing probably the same thing that Garrett just did with his annual pass, and I'm gonna be there for hours. But anyway, I mean, I'm just going through all the candy lines, seeing all the different characters. I mean, we showed a video of Sid earlier, which when I first heard Sid is going to be at the party, that's weird. And then you see him there, and you're like, oh no, this works. This is great. And it was like, yeah, he was great. And Cruella, like from the live action movie, she was fantastic. It's just so much fun to see these characters put on a little show for you. Like every single candy line you go to is like kind of a little show, and I think that's just such a great idea. It's so fun. You get to see all these characters you never see, and of course the parade is fantastic as well. I missed it so much last year, and the vibe, they do a great job at California Adventure, just with all the decorations. Just Buena Vista Street feels amazing with all the purple lights in the trees, and the Halloween, the skeletons in the windows, and oh man, it is my favorite time of year, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. Let's get back there.
Tyler, the thing that, because I lived through your pictures and text and all this stuff, when I saw that they have zombie Captain America, or they have Werewolf by Night, or even Ernesto de la Cruz, when I saw that and I saw him singing in this sort of creepy, like very dramatic version of Remember Me, but it's more of like a haunted mansion, like a warning where it's like, you will remember me. Like I was thinking, why can't Disney World have that? Disney World has so much opportunity, but know what? I'm happy with Disneyland keeping it. So it makes me have to go out there and experience Disneyland, the OG, and then, of course, California Adventure, where it is right now. But yeah, those things are what make Oogie Boogie Bash, I think, just a little bit above Not So Scary. And I'm going to take heat for that, but I'm willing to.
I think you're right. I think they both have their pros and cons, but just Oogie Boogie Bash just feels like it kind of evolves more every year. And that was one of the, like you mentioned, Ernesto de la Cruz, that was one of the things I was so sad we missed last year. And they had gosh, now I'm blanking on her name, Ming, right? From Sword in the Stone. Like she was there last year. Mim. Yeah, Mim. And we missed her. And so it's just, they give you a reason to come back every year, which, don't get me wrong, I love the Sanderson sisters, but that show has been the same for a long time now. And I was blown away the first, few times I saw it. But now, I bring back the Sanderson sisters. I'm not saying get rid of them, but maybe come up with something new that involves them. So Oogie Boogie Bash, I agree, is just a little bit above and beyond for me. But I think they both have their pros and cons.
Oh yeah.
And speaking of pros and cons, Katrina, I was going to ask you before Tyler started mentioning it and Garrett started discussing it, is if you had to choose between the coasts, say you're a family of 4 looking to head to one of these parties, what would you go about choosing? Obviously, Disney World's, it feels like potentially, is one where a lot of folks like the fact that there's this unique fireworks show in the party, whereas Disneyland's Halloween fireworks show doesn't happen in the party. It happens across the Esplanade at Disneyland Park rather than at California Adventure. But what are some of the things you might mention to a family looking to pick between the coasts for Halloween?
Ooh, it's a hard question, because if we're just doing just party, nothing else besides the party, then Oogie Boogie Bash, 100%. It's just so good. it's so amazing because you're able to DCA is like not a darker park, but there's just a lot of darker corners around the park, and man, when you go through that walkthrough at the Redwood Creek Trail, like it is mind-blowing. And when people go in it, they expect to like see characters and stuff like that, and I was like, absolutely not. There are 0 characters in this walkthrough, but when you're walking through, you'll feel the characters and they're like their aura and their essence is there. You know what I mean? So you still get that creepy vibe because music's what's playing,
Yes.
That's what's happening. And so music is the leader. You don't need the characters because it's just so great. And then they do have like a little parade and it's cute and stuff. And I don't know if they didn't mention the World of Color, if they're bringing the World of Color back.
Yeah, it wasn't
for
in
Halloween. There. It wasn't great. So I was hoping that they would like redo it to make it like spookier, because that was a joke. When they rethemed it to whatever it was, I don't even remember. It was just, I was laughing the whole time through because I was like, this is bad. Give the vibe of, the kind of do not phantasmic, but just do something scary like that, and for World of Color, I think it would be really amazing. And again, like what you said, there is a fireworks show, but it's on the other side at Disneyland, which is kind of great for visitors because it's not just a one night show, right? So you buy a ticket to Not So Scary Halloween Party and you go, and let's say there was like thunder and lightning or something like that happened that night of your show, and they delayed the fireworks show. They delayed it. Then they just decided to completely cancel it. Then you paid, $150 for your ticket for, per person. And they canceled your fireworks show and you're kind of like, what the? And so now you don't even get to see it. But if you're at Disneyland, at least you see it on your off day. So you go to Oogie Boogie Bash, you see you see the parade and all that stuff. And then you go to the other side and then you can see the fireworks like the next day. And then if they're canceled that night, then you can at least have a chance to see them because they're every night, during Halloween season.
You bet. Some great tips there. And it also stretches those crowds out, which is fantastic and allows you to have some of that Halloween magic in both parks. Whereas Walt Disney World, it really is like Magic Kingdom is the only Halloween-centered thing. Like, you got to go there.
Mm-hmm. That's it. But Disneyland and DCA, you get both. You get, you get best of both worlds, It's like Hannah Montana.
My God, Hannah Montana style.
Wow.
Bring her to Oogie Boogie Bash. No.
No, please don't. I'm okay.
I'd rather have Lizzie McGuire.
Bring her in on a wrecking ball.
Everybody
That
makes
might be
mistakes.
fun.
There you go.
Everybody has those
the-
days.
Oh gosh, man.
Thank you for that. Terry Thompson joining us saying Oogie Boogie beats them all, including
Yes.
May the 4th and
Whoa,
merriest.
Whoa.
Ooh.
May the 4th. You better pump the brakes there, Terry. May
Uh-oh.
the 4th is not just a day. It's the spirit. It's the essence of Star Wars and the Force. So I'll let it slide, Terry, because I like you. But Oogie Boogie does seem pretty dope.
I'm not one to argue, but I am. And I'm going to say, no, you're wrong,
Oh.
Garrett. Sorry.
Oh,
Oogie Boogie Bash definitely destroys May the 4th.
Well, it's only because
Oh, yeah.
And
you're the gunner on Millennium Falcon. That's what.
Oh, don't get me started.
he's the engineer. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just pretend you didn't mention that terrible attraction. Let's just move on.
I love it.
That's how that goes. Larry Jean mentioning to all of us, the Matterhorn Bobsleds reopens on June the 2nd. That's right. It's coming back to us after a long refurbishment. You know, every year it's like this attraction is just down for a quarter of the year in order to make sure that the thing doesn't sink into the submarine lagoon. So, yeah, it's great to know that it's coming back for summertime.
Yeah, I think that that thing is held together by duct tape and paper mache, and
and a lot of love, and a lot of love by Bob Gurr.
Yeah, and I think that especially those waterfalls can't be good for it. So when the waterfalls are just pegging that paper mache all day long, it's got to be rough on that poor ride.
You got that right. And Katrina, the mention of Hannah Montana got me thinking about an experience that I once had when I worked at the Disney parks. I was a part of the Dream Squad, for those folks that don't know, during the Year of a Million Dreams that ended up becoming 2 years of a million dreams. And this was back in 2008. And I was in California Adventure just before Parade. And there was this little girl that was standing there. And I believe it was when American Idol was really hot, and everybody was watching American Idol. Not like today, where it's a segment of the population that's not nearly as significant as it used to be that watches. But at any rate, I walked up to her, and she was wearing a shirt that said David Archuleta on one side and had his face, and then she had a Hannah Montana hat. I remember it very clearly. And I said, "Do you enjoy Hannah Montana?" And she said, "I love Hannah Montana." And I said, "Are you a fan of reading?" And she said, "I read every day." And I said, "Well," and I whipped out a Hannah Montana bookmark and said, "Now you get the best of both worlds." And I sang it like that. And her family looked at me like maybe I shouldn't be there. Like maybe I should go away. So passed off that bookmark and off I went. But that will live in her heart forever.
That's beautiful. I wonder if she still uses it or like thinks about it. You know what I mean?
As a doorstop.
No, she'll always remember that time. That's the beautiful thing about being a cast member.
Yeah.
That you have all these opportunities to make somebody's day a little bit better. Even when I was doing my little custodial stint for a little while, you know, I would grab a little roll of stickers and I would just go hand them out to people. And, you know, you look at somebody staring at a map and you go and just try and make their day a little bit more positive by helping them out. That is what it's all about. You know, those beautiful moments.
And sometimes you get the best of both worlds.
That's
right.
true.
Amen. Jay Pike, thank you. Jay Pike saying, "Nice work on that promo. I took my family in 2008. It was an interesting time at California Adventure. Lots of transition was happening as DCA version 2 was on the way. And so there was tons of construction that was beginning that year. And I remember they also had the Pixar Play Parade that was rolling through every day. And such a unique time because California Adventure version 1 wasn't gone yet, but they had announced basically that all of the new plans were coming and they were so excited about the changes, and Toy Story Mania was opening, and it feels like a bygone era, but now that park has a lot of heart to it, which is great. Love that.
Really
Terry
does,
saying, "Cast members can make or break a Disney day, so love your cast members." Amen. And what were you going to say, Katrina?
Right.
No, I really love that. Like, I mean, now it's just that park is way better.
Hugely better. A magical experience, whereas before it just sort of felt like a concrete jungle in which to buy alcohol.
Yeah.
If I may say so. Yeah, that's how it felt. Yeah. Well, coming up, we have some details for you when it comes to the new DVC Hotel Tower at the Disneyland Hotel. You can get access to it, however, it's not going to be easy, and it might just break the bank. We are going to share details with you on all of that when we come back.
Please step carefully onto the moving platform, then step into the car. For your safety, remain seated at all times, keeping hands, arms, feet, legs, and other appendages inside your car. And please supervise younger beings. Stay clear of the doors, which will open and close automatically. Enjoy your journey. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga sus manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del vehículo. Y cuida a sus niños. Gracias. Please step carefully onto the moving platform, then step into the car. For your safety, remain seated at all times, keeping hands, arms, feet, legs, and...
This is the TTA Blue Line, non-stop service around Tomorrowland.
Greetings, intergalactic travelers. Welcome aboard the People Mover, presented by Enterprise. I'm Monarch 5, your guide aboard this highway in the sky, the absolute best way to see Tomorrowland. And my stars, is there ever lots to see? From spacecraft to monster labs, there's really nothing like it today in Tomorrowland.
For your safety, if you have wings, jetpacks, or gravity polarizers, please do not take flight while on board. Thank you.
The next station is Tomorrowland Urban Planning and Star Traders. Transfer to Green and Red Line.
Don't worry, your express train keeps on rolling through the future, right by two of my favorite spots.
SFGate.com writes that this past March, Disneyland quietly began taking reservations for its newest hotel accommodations, a new section of its signature resort called The Villas at Disneyland Hotel. When it opens in September, the tower will add 340 rooms to Disneyland's on-property offerings, which sees significant demand despite their high prices. But there's a catch. When it opens, it's going to be pretty hard to get into. The hotel tower is part of the Disney Vacation Club, a timeshare type program ownership where members purchase points they then use to book rooms referred to as villas by Disney at DVC hotels around the world. Buy-in can cost tens of thousands of dollars for those who can afford it. It's like prepaying for a decade of Disney vacations and getting 5 decades worth of trips out of the investment. Regular guests who don't belong to Disney Vacation Club can book the rooms, but fewer will be open to the public than are set aside for members. They will also be more expensive than rooms at Disney's Grand Californian, Disneyland's highest-priced hotel. The villas will offer smaller duo rooms that sleep two, which range from $560 to $860 per night, depending on the date and the view, according to Mice Chat. A deluxe studio sleeps 4 and ranges from $748 to $1,165, and one-bedroom suites sleep 5 and top out at $1,754, whereas two-bedroom suites sleep 9 and can cost up to $2,552. The grandest of all the grand accommodations in the hotel is a 2-story, 3-bedroom suite that's Moana and Frozen themed. That option can cost up to $5,846 per night. Both the Disneyland Hotel and the Grand Californian currently offer themed suites that cost thousands per night, like the Princess-themed Fairy Tale Suite. The Disneyland Hotel has 3 towers with hotel rooms themed to areas inside the park, Fantasyland, Adventureland, and Frontierland. This newest tower will be, according to Disney, inspired by stories. The Villas at Disneyland Hotel celebrates the iconic legacy of Disney storytelling and the creative process, according to the DVC website. Rooms will include decor inspired by animated films like The Jungle Book, The Princess and the Frog, and Sleeping Beauty. The tower will have a separate pool apart from the hotel's existing pool complex, which has monorail-themed water slides. Again, big thanks to sfgate.com for that story. So now we kind of know exactly how expensive it's going to be in order to get ourselves on in the door for this new tower. I know that the Disney Vacation Club is sort of foreign to some people. As mentioned there, it is like a vacation timeshare opportunity through Disney. A lot of folks do subscribe to it, and many do not. I have been in a situation before where I have visited with folks who do have DVC, and I've been able to, spend the night in some of these spectacular spaces that I might not otherwise ever see, like the Grand Californian two-story villa that looks out onto California Adventure. Yeah, we threw a big old party there once.
I'm a little
First time I've
jelly.
heard of this. Wow.
I'm a little jelly right now.
I see how
It was-
is.
When it was brand new too, and this was
man.
back during, I think we were just a few years removed from the Dream Squad, and it was the Dream Squad getting together. Somebody that was a part of the Dream Squad had DVC and decided to throw a major party up in this space, and I was one of the lucky ones that got to stay the night in my own bedroom, and it was an incredible view. Owen knows. Owen gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Ka-chow. But it was one of those sort of epic experiences that I will never forget because of the floor-to-ceiling two-story window that looked out onto California Adventure. It felt like it was your park. It felt like, you were living in that park. And then the only other DVC experience I've ever had outside of that was purchasing points and staying at Old Key West Resort. And that was pretty impressive just from the perspective of space. Old Key West, apparently, I've read up on this because it was one of the first DVC resorts out at Walt Disney World. It is the biggest, or one of the biggest, and
Those
so
rooms
the
are
space, the space is there for you, and it was bigger than my home today. So I was blown away by just how massive that was. But Garrett, you have stayed in DVC
Quite a few
locations
times.
before.
Quite a few times, yes.
Tell us about it.
So Ariel's family is quite large, and I've gotten to stay with them a few times. And
As in heavy set or numbers?
No. As in
He's
as
talking
in-
about you've seen the Little Mermaid and there's like the 10 sisters. That's what he's talking
seven.
about.
It's seven.
Got it.
It's seven daughters of Trident, but we'll go over the fact check later for our trivia night.
Okay, sounds good.
So for me, the Disney Vacation Club is a worthwhile investment if one, you have the money to back it, and also if you go to Disney enough to where it will save you money. Because if you eat dinner, well, okay, so let me take that back. If you want to save money, then you can have like breakfast, lunch, and dinner inside your villa instead of going to a restaurant. And for a family like Ariel's, where it's Ariel and she has 3 siblings and mom and dad, and now that I'm like the fiance and I'm part of the family, and if others get significant others, the bill goes up. And so having DVC, it saves you time and money because you get a bigger space, you get more rooms, you get an in-room washer and dryer, fridge, and all that. So you save money, and they have awesome amenities. Like they have the DVC Lounge in Epcot, which stands for the Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. That goes out to my homie Hope out there, who
Let's
asked about that at the
go.
beginning. Yeah, I had to slip that in. That's right. And since we're talking about my bestie Hope, she wanted me to say the electromagnetic synthetic musical sound from the Main Street Electrical Parade. That's been popping up in the chat a few times. But back to DVC. It's a worthwhile investment, but it can be quite costly. For me, I personally love Disney's Beach Club Resort. It is fantastic, and that one's really nice because it's right next to Epcot, which is my favorite Walt Disney World park. But one that's grown on me, it's sort of like the diamond in the rough, is Old Key West. It was the first DVC property, and it holds up. Like, it's got plenty of room. There's a lot to do out there. They've got like 3 or 4 swimming pools, and they've got tennis courts that also have pickleball courts on there. And that's a conversation for another time. But Old Key West, secret little hidden treasure out there, and it's got a cool little lighthouse out there too. And they got some key lime pie.
And some key lime pie.
Some key lime
I
pie,
will
yeah.
say, I love having the access to the boat launch that takes you to and from Disney Springs there. That is a huge benefit to getting sort of a backdoor access into Disney Springs. And it's so peaceful and it's so beautiful. I love having that option.
It's a long route. It goes all the way from, Disney Springs all the way to
Riverside.
Yeah, Riverside. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a long way. And at night, it just has this nice, quiet kind of bayou feel, like the beginning of Disneyland's Pirates.
You're
attraction.
100% correct. It feels like its own attraction. The Sasagula River is incredible. I love it. And that also, I have fond memories of riding that with my dad too. So that's
For a month.
one of my favorite things. For a month. Well, we stayed at so at the time the hotel was called Dixie Landing, and it was French Quarter and Riverside were both one
That's
hotel.
right.
And so we stayed there for 2 weeks, and we stayed at Caribbean Beach for 2 weeks. So
Very nice. And Jay Pike saying those 2 grand villas are incredible, and what a bonus to be DVC and have access to that new DVC lounge in Tomorrowland. Yeah, I've only seen it in images and video at this point, but looks on point, to say the least. So nice to know that DVC has that specialty perk, especially knowing that they are paying so much into the experience. Katrina, DVC experiences overall, you've been able to take part in any sort of DVC spaces before?
We did stay at Old Key West, right, Taylor? Yeah, we did.
yeah, we stayed at
We
Old
were
Key West.
lucky
Yeah.
because we did the annual pass rate and it was just available, so we booked it that way. We've never dabbled in DVC points and stuff, but it was really fun. It was really cool because then I was like a nerd and I was like, oh my god, Sabrina stayed here in Sabrina. And I think Full House did the Grand Floridian, but I feel like there was like
They
another
did.
show that did Old Key West.
Also,
but
we had a bunch of little frog neighbors too. They were cute.
we did.
You had frog
were
neighbors with
small
Tiana and
And
Naveen.
very, very
Yep,
big.
probably, yeah.
Oh snap!
We didn't get
Tiana
to go
and
outside
Naveen.
and utilize the patio, unfortunately, because that patio was cool because there was like a little fan and like a big patio that overlooked the water. But the frog friends were utilizing that space a lot because it was right after the hurricane too. So it
Yeah.
was
Oh.
like humid. So we flew in like a week after the hurricane, not even. And it was like
Yeah.
humid, wet, hot, very hot.
You got the hurricane special.
Where I couldn't even breathe
Yeah.
outside. It was horrible. It wasn't even relaxing. Like, oh, I'm gonna have a cup of coffee and sit on the balcony. Yo,
Nope.
right. Absolutely
No.
not. I was like,
No.
nah, I'll stay here and just look outside the window and stare at this big frog that's on the door.
It's beautiful behind glass.
Oh, it's very nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
super cute. It was super cute.
Air
I really
conditioned.
liked it. We had like the big tub, and then you had what is it called? Like there was like little was it shutters, and then you opened it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you can like overlook the bedroom, and then you can shut the shutters. And we didn't utilize the kitchen very much. We had like cereal, I think, and something else. But I mean, honestly, you're right, Garrett. For the price and like what
Mhm.
you get with
Yeah.
the kitchen and stuff, it's worth it. That place is massive.
Oh yeah, Old Key West is a hidden gem, and I like what if you ever have a patio that goes out to like the golf course, it's fun to watch the golfers, have rough shots because you can see the frustration that comes with golfing and why I don't play golf because I would experience the same thing. So I like to live through them. But yeah, Old Key West, I'm gonna be staying there this summer for a week and just hanging out, and I'll say hi to a
Melting?
froggy friend. Melting, that's right. I'm a melt like
Melting.
like a hippo.
A
That's
hippo.
That's
Yeah.
my hippo.
Yeah.
I was thinking more like a Olaf snowman or something,
Yeah.
but
Or like a popsicle.
Hey, some people are worth melting for.
That's for sure. Sam saying Caribbean Beach. We've got 1 million here. Tip your waitress. Sam saying Caribbean Beach is great. I want to stay at the Tower at Coronado Springs. Tyler, Katrina, that is one of your
Oh,
favorite places, right? The Tower?
100%.
Oh,
Tower
man.
all the way.
love me some Grandestino.
Can't say enough.
It's funny because I think one of the only things you don't, it feels like a deluxe resort to me, even though they consider it a moderate. And like the only thing that is missing is like a comforter. Like they don't put a comforter on the bed. It's just sheets. That's not even that big of a deal. Like if you really need a blanket, bring a blanket. But other than that, it is an amazing hotel. It's the only moderate that does have a club level. And, I think I can't even imagine going to Disney World without at least visiting Grandestino. It is a fantastic place.
It really is. Great. Toledo's great. The Dahlia Lounge is amazing. The view up there is beautiful. I can't say enough.
Yeah, you're right.
Absolutely stunning space, to say the least, and a location that I've stayed at many times, never in the tower. That is on my list. I've always stayed in one of the outlying boroughs, if you will. And it's a huge property.
It's
There is
massive.
so much walking space.
Yeah, you're right. At least finally, when they built the tower, they also built 3 bridges, because back in the day, so 3 bridges, to explain it a little bit, is a bar/restaurant in the middle of the water, because this whole property is just surrounding a semi-small lake, I guess. But before, if you needed to walk to the lobby from the back of the hotel, it maybe 10-15 minute walk. Now they have put bridges in between everything, so it's much better. But yeah,
Crisscrossing.
crisscrossing. They want to make you jump. And yeah, it is a beautiful property. It's our favorite. We can't say enough nice things about it.
Love that you love it. And speaking of DVC properties out at Walt Disney World, there was an announcement this past week by Disney Parks that a little bit of extra attention is coming to Fort Wilderness Resort and Campgrounds. Got all the details for you. Here's what Disney is saying. ClickOrlando.com writes that Walt Disney World Resort and Disney Vacation Club announced proposed plans to bring refreshed cabin hideaways to Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground. The company said the planned cabins are part of a collection of improvement projects underway at the resort. Saying, quote, "For more than 50 years, Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground has offered guests the opportunity to explore nature with their loved ones while staying in the heart of Walt Disney World Resort." Bill Derrickson, the Senior Vice President and General Manager of Disney Vacation Club, adding, "We're excited to continue to build upon the resort's rich legacy and elevate the cabin experience for our members and all guests to enjoy for years to come." Close quote. Disney said the proposed cabins would be built with an eye toward the environment, utilizing the footprint of the existing cabins and taking advantage of more energy-efficient features. Nestled across 750 acres of scenic woodlands, the plans call for more than 350 new cabins to replace the existing cabins at the resort. Disney said design concepts offer a fresh take on their current cabin experience, with each standalone cabin offering spacious accommodations, sleeping up to 6 adults, and features a bedroom, bathroom, living room, full kitchen, and private patio. A select number of cabins are also expected to be dog-friendly. The proposed cabins will continue to be open for reservations to all guests, including those who are not Disney Vacation Club members, based on availability. Other changes on the way include a proposed pool, walking trail enhancements, and expanded dining experiences at Trails End Restaurant and Crockett's Tavern. The cabins at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort is projected to open in 2024 and would be the 17th Disney Vacation Club resort. More information regarding project details, the start of sales, and rental bookings will be released at a later date. Again, big thanks to ClickOrlando.com for that story. Garrett, the new DVC specific cabins coming to this property with this idea of modernization while also trying to keep the notes of wilderness woven into what they're trying to do. How do you feel about this concept art that we're seeing?
It's kind of a mixed bag. I think the trees that look great.
Wow.
Like right now, around the world, like especially in America, like architecture wise, a lot of it is this sort of minimalist thing where it's a lot of, simple, quick and easy designs, not the whimsical or grandeur that you'd see, like the Grand Californian or even the Grand Floridian, where you have this like ornate or architecture. Like this just seems very simple and put together. And
I mean, are they? I'm sorry to interrupt, but are
Yeah,
they
no,
going
no.
for that?
I
I don't feel like I would feel. I feel like it'd be weird if it was like Grand Floridian in the middle of a forest.
Yeah, well, I don't want I don't want Grand Floridian in the middle of the forest. But like when I thought of, like, hey, we're adding some cabins, I thought it would actually be like a wood cabin or a brick cabin or something a bit more not metally. That's the adjective I'm going to go with. But I think with what they're going for, it's probably cheap to make, easy to fit in, and you can utilize it in multiple ways. And if it doesn't work out, you can scrap it real fast versus something permanent that's made out of wood that's susceptible to, wood rot, termites, weather. Like these things are probably meant to hold up. I'm really curious, how much noise do these make when a heavy rainstorm comes in? Because if the walls are metal or something like that, is it going to just hear like a bunch of like water hitting like a tin pan? I like that Fort Wilderness is getting love, because that is such a massive property. If you've ever been there, you can get lost easily. If there were no maps, you would be lost out there, and you'd have to start hunting bears and stuff, and befriending Bambi.
Bears! Oh my gosh, poor Winnie the Pooh.
Hey, when Pooh is out of honey, things get dark. But but luckily, owls full of wisdom and will guide me on the path. But I think they look cool. I'll have to see it for myself. Concept art versus what actually happens, that changes so often that we'll just have to wait and see, because you can, sometimes your imagination on paper is a bit either hungrier than reality, but we'll just have to wait and see. But I like how they have trees. That's very nice to have trees at a campground.
I mean, you kind of need those trees,
Yeah.
don't you?
Sounds true.
Jay Pike saying those new cabins look like shipping containers. Not a fan. Feel bad for the spirit of Fort Wilderness and pushing people out to make it a DVC property. Well, the log cabins that have long been there, certainly an option for everybody, just like, most DVC is. You're still able to latch on as long as not everybody is booking it as a DVC property. And it's so expansive, and I think so tucked out of the way that a lot of folks tend to forget about it. I always see tons of vacant cabins whenever I'm there, because I often go on over to some of the dining hall establishments on that side and do a little hoop-de-doo, but I'll do the ride on the bus, the internal bus system, to get in and around that property. And most of the cabins seem vacant, even during popular times of the year. So I'm interested in seeing if this infuses any sort of additional interest or gets people, motivated to go booking that direction. Tyler, your thoughts on this sort of new direction, this new conceptual art and idea?
Well, I'll be honest. I actually do like the way the cabins look. I know it's kind of an unpopular opinion, but I've definitely gone on YouTube more than once and just kind of watched videos about tiny houses or just mobile people that have like a mobile house for their family, just things like that. And it's always been kind of interesting to me. Not that I would ever want to like live in one of those permanently, but it's just been kind of an interesting, like, I love the way that like the space efficiency and whatnot. So I think they're kind of going for that vibe. They're kind of going for like hey, this is like a tiny house, and I think it's kind of fun. It's funny because Katrina and I are going on a trip here pretty soon next week to Florida. And one of the places I was really looking at was the Fort Wilderness cabins.
Oh.
And I actually just decided I didn't really want to do it because, like, especially the bedroom, it just doesn't, I don't know. There's like, you only have one table, there's only one table on the side of the bed and just things like that it seemed kind of old. Like I was watching some videos and I was like, oh, the cabins seem like they need a little bit of help possibly. So if you're going to bring in a whole new cabin, I think that's the best thing you could do for these things. But feel a little bit outdated to me. And so for me, I'm excited about that part. The part that I really don't love is the DVC part. I think making it DVC is, I'm not going to say a mistake. Well, it's not a mistake for them, obviously. It's kind of a money grab, I feel like. I think they're trying to short term, get a lot of money from this DVC thing. And I mean, I hate to say it, but DVC is also a way for them to offer less. Does that make sense? Like,
No, I feel you, but also Tyler, to add to your thing, and then I'll let you go. They just recently, within the past 4 or 5 years, added the Copper Creek aspect to Fort Wilderness. So it seems weird that they're adding more DVC on top of already new. And those DVC ones look immaculate and great. And this just seems like you go from a premium resort to almost a value resort.
Well, we'll see what the interior.
Yeah.
Right. So
there's the what?
There's a points difference, right? So I'm like, sure, Copper Creek is really hard to get into and really expensive. So then here, like Wade said, it wasn't very populated. So I'm sure they're just trying to sell them out. And then with the DVC points, they're going to try to like maximize and make money off of it. And then, but still make them cheap and accessible to people that can't, get their other hotels.
I think as somebody who comes from outside of the DVC universe, right? Like we don't have it. I'm not really interested in it. I've thought about it a couple times, but I just the extra work and just, it feels like I'd just be nickel and diming left and right to try and like get the points I need. And I'm just not into that. I go to Disney World for like vacation. But it seems like this recent push on DVC, like not only do you have it in Disney World here with the cabins, but also now we have this new tower at the Disneyland Hotel, and as well as now we have a new lounge in Tomorrowland over in Disneyland. So I feel like they're making this push on DVC to try and, I don't know, make it more popular or just make it seem like, I think through COVID, a lot of those people felt kind of burned, like that they weren't getting the value that they paid for. So I kind of feel like this is them just reacting and trying to, make it seem like DVC is something really special when I just am not sure. I just, it's like when you do DVC, correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't get housekeeping.
You do get housekeeping. It's just, it's limited. It's not every day like you would in a normal room. Like if you stay for, let's say 7 days, you'll get it on, I think the 2nd, the 5th, and the 6th day, or some combination like that, where it's every other day. And if you call, like, they can still come by, but for the most part, it's more scheduled than the everyday sort of thing. But you get a washer and dryer in house.
Yeah, but you can get a washer and dryer. I mean, we've stayed at Boardwalk before and had a washer and dryer, and I'm not staying DVC.
We never used it.
And, well, I did use it because we got super wet in the rain. I used the dryer.
Yeah, we used the dryer.
I did use the dryer, but I feel like DVC is one of those things that, like, yeah, if you got some wham, if you got all that wham in your pocket, that walking around money,
wham,
then you can definitely spend your money on DVC, but you're not going to see a return for years and years and years. So to me, I would rather have the options of just like flying by the seat of my pants. I think making this a DVC opportunity is a sad thing to me. And it's the same thing with the Disneyland Tower that they're building now. Also, going back to that Disneyland Tower, I'm really curious about the bar situation. Are they just going to throw the pool, like the pool, right? I'm talking about the pool. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Throw that up there. The pool, they got this whole pool situation. Is it going to be a Trader Sam's bar? Or
that would be really dumb.
Kind of looks like a Holiday Inn right there.
Listen, yeah, it does a little bit. Like as a man that loves me some Trader Sam's, I just feel bad for these poor cast members if they're going to have to make drinks for all these people at this pool. I mean,
yeah, I mean, this is clearly on the back side of that tower. So I would imagine that it's exclusive to just the DVC guests.
You know what? You're right. I didn't really realize it was on the backside before. That was a detail I missed. So
yeah, because that tower pushes all the way up against the current pool, and then behind it is sort of the amenities for that tower. So
Makes sense. Makes sense.
what I think is really interesting too, when I look at this, especially when I'm there looking at it, is just how different this tower is from the rest of the towers after they just went through and completely overhauled in all of the gaudy blue.
Weird.
They threw blue on everything on those other 3 towers, and this tower will stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, they blew themselves.
Hey,
Sorry, so that's an old Arrested Development joke. Sorry.
hilarious. But yeah, you see this and you think like, boy, this really is a different type of environment for sure. And you know, if you're staying DVC, you'll feel special because you're going into a tower that doesn't look like anybody else's. But I mean, you kind of see there at the baseline of the central image that it looks like, you know, giant open walkways leading on into right alongside the lobby there. So I don't know if there's a connection point. I don't know if there's a, you know, what that is right there. Yeah, if there's some sort of checkpoint for DVC members or what, but it looks wide open.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. I'm sure they'll be specific about that soon.
I feel like they have to have like a pool bar or some type of like inside service so it doesn't, you know, ruin the bar over at Trader Sam's because they can't even keep up at the moment with their regular pool on a busy day. You know what I mean? So they have to make like another type of like baby bar.
Yeah, I'm still like what I'm really looking forward to, you know, more than even just the pricing and everything of this hotel is what are the dining options going to be here?
Yeah,
you know, that's going to be
Tangaroa
the
Terrace
thing. No, I mean, I really hope there's another quick service, and I really hope there's another just full on sit down restaurant. Those are
so then would we be able to eat there then, or are they shooting themselves in the foot saying like, oh, that's only for that hotel?
And maybe that's the option. Maybe you do get, you know, a chance to go in there and perhaps just this pool section, because I feel like this pool section is already blocked off for DVC members, and you know it's sort of cordoned off back here in the corner.
It doesn't have the personality of the Disneyland hotel, that's for sure. It has no monorail running through water slide,
and it butts right up to Walnut Street with the trees. I mean, it's right there alongside the street. So
looking forward to the Holiday Inn.
You know what it reminds me of, especially those little, I don't know if you want to call them bungalows there at the top corner. What it reminds me of, I hate even saying this out loud, but this looks like the Hojo Anaheim across the street
It really
from
does.
Disneyland.
Yeah, like everything's square, rectangular, and just the use of color. No real sign of Disney. Like you could put this anywhere and be like, oh, it's a Howard Johnson. You know, that's a Marriott property.
It's retro modern.
Isn't that what they're doing now with all the renovations? Like everything looks so basic.
It's
like
the
even
minimalism.
the campground stuff, it just looks basic. And I'm like, oh, this is so boring. And like all the renovations they're doing within the hotel rooms are all basic. They're ripping out the carpet. They're putting in, fake wood floors. They're ripping out the character, the characteristics that make the room, and then just adding cheap wallpaper. So if someone rips it, it's easy to redo, instead of like creating like a beautiful lamp or like beautiful upholstery that if someone rips it, it's going to cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to replace. So now they're trying to create stuff that's like easily changeable, like the incredible rooms. I mean, come on, like you're going to have like a picture of the character's suits in the closet. So if someone dings it, you can easily just repaint it or just put like new wallpaper up, and it costs like a fraction of the price than creating like some kind of exclusive Edna Mode piece or something like inside the room. I don't know. I don't like any of their renovations.
Yeah, Disneyland made the mistake of not buying up 46 square miles of land in LA. Like, what a rookie mistake.
Thanks a lot, Walt.
I mean, it's a lot better than what he was thinking of doing it in like Los Feliz. I would have been like, yoicks.
But I do like the Tinkerbell on the side of the building.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, at
That's
first I was like,
cute.
what is that? And I was like, oh, it's Tinkerbell. I do like that. Like, this side of the building looks a lot better than the Hojo, like version 2.
This I didn't even notice that was Tinkerbell until you just said it. So thank you.
I lived this
way to zero in.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's what I did.
And the DVC campgrounds, excuse me, at Fort Wilderness.
Oh goodness.
This area is one that I know also has a lot of emphasis being placed on it for redevelopment, or at least refreshing, not just the cabins, but they just shut down the buffet restaurant, or family style, I should say now. The family style restaurant that was open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner forever. That has now been shut down for redevelopment. So perhaps they're trying to make this space more alluring, and maybe with DVC being pumped into it, they're going to upgrade all of the amenities. Certainly, you have the boat launch right out the back door of this island that'll take you on over to Magic Kingdom and the other hotels. So it is convenient, and that is really one of the things that I used to do all the time. Was I'd leave Magic Kingdom in the middle of the day, and I'd head on over to Fort Wilderness and slide on into that buffet lunch or that family style lunch now, and it was outstanding. I loved it, and it was always so cheap because it was off the beaten path. And it was one of those things that was like a hidden gem because nobody thought to go there in the middle of the day. So I always have really appreciated this resort just as a retreat to get away from all the chaotic energy of the theme parks. But yeah, you've got the boat launch, and then of course the internal bus system there that will take you to where you need to be. You can also rent the golf carts.
Yeah, I'm still bummed that while they are doing this, they shut down the Reflections resort that they were going to possibly do with, Pocahontas, in the lobby. I'm still a little bitter about that, but maybe in time things will change, but we'll just have to wait.
That's the one that they cleared River Country for?
Yeah, it was
right next to it.
the renewed River Country. It was, Reflections. I was pumped about that because you can see River Country if you ever, rent one of the little boats from Poly or Grand Flow, and you can see the water slide that pretty much quote unquote went into the lake, but it was covered. But yeah, Disney has been known to cancel projects from time to time.
What?
Yeah, I know.
So I've heard.
That's crazy.
No.
Yeah, like a three story festival center. Forget about that. That's not needed.
No, sir, I don't like it.
Not at all. David's saying all these DVC projects look basic because they were designed by outside firms, not Imagineers. I have heard those rumors.
I hope that's true.
It's
If that is the
it's
Imagineers.
sad. And then I'm happy that they're bringing DVC to Disneyland because I've heard in the past that there's only DVC in Grand Californian, and those were hard to get and expensive. So you're lucky to even get using any type of your DVC points just for the Grand Californian. So at least this gives them a better chance because for how expensive the hotel prices are for all three hotels that they have, it's outrageous. And
Absolutely.
to add now they're able to nickel and dime DVC, but it gives more rooms if DVC, if they don't have capacity and stuff, they have more capacity than normal, then they can just sell it for regular prices and then they can jack up the rate even more. But so I'm glad that they're doing this for DVC people that actually have, the pass, and they're like, oh, now we have a little lounge in Tomorrowland and stuff. But, why don't we do something else with that area?
Especially to have it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, especially to have a 2-story megaplex in the corner of Tomorrowland there, and to only use a portion of it for DVC members. It's like, hey, that's a big section of this landlocked land. Can we do something, to accommodate everybody?
Why don't we make that something? Why don't we put DVC over in DCA where no one uses that Avengers store anymore? They made the Avengers store, but is it necessary anymore? No, just cut half
stage
of that
12,
off and then make that
19.
a DVC lounge. Or the back where they used to, where is it? By the food truck over there in the back where they did I don't know, I guess the game room when they did the.
Yeah, that's right. That's stage 12. Forgive me. That's stage 12. And then 19 is or 17 or whatever it is next to Monsters. So Monsters separates the two, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got those two sound stages.
By that sound stage where they did oh my God, what's that show called? My mind just went to poo.
Winnie the Pooh?
Where they did Mad Tea Party? Is that
Mad Tea Party, where the game room was, in the back.
And Flynn's Arcade was there.
Yeah. Right. Well, from what we've heard, years ago, that was a food court. And
that's right. That's a kitchen for food.
So they use that area for food and wine and preparing test food for people, and
it's
training.
their barista college as well,
Yeah,
for all of the
exactly.
baristas at the resort. So
Yeah,
they definitely are using it.
yeah.
So make
And
the lounge and serve little baby bites to the lounge goers.
Be an experimental
See?
eatery. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. See, earn money, Disney. You go in and then you have to buy little bites and stuff from the food
Don't
and
you
wine
hear, Katrina?
festivals.
Come on.
Come on.
Katrina going for that CEO job, Tyler. Better watch out,
Yeah,
dog.
look out, Tyler.
No, hey, you back off.
Oh
It's
no.
my job.
Can I be CFO?
There you
Sure.
go.
Yeah, there you
Perfect.
go.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
done with
cool.
that. Yeah.
Sam saying, any restaurants planned for the new DLH tower?
That's
At this
my
point, they're
question.
not talking about it. We assume, as we were mentioning earlier, so the restaurants inside, is that something that is going to be accessible to everyone? Not sure yet exactly what's going to be located in that tower in terms of amenities that everybody will get to use, or amenities in general outside of the concept art. So good question there, Sam. We're wondering too.
If there's
Yeah,
Steakhouse 55 and we're not allowed to go in there, I will riot.
That would be terrible.
Could
But
I
you
will
imagine?
literally riot.
like everybody has to remember this is that Disneyland Hotel is a 4-star resort, and one of the things that will make a hotel 4 stars is they have a sit-down restaurant. Currently, there is no sit-down restaurant, so
Great
if
point.
they still
There's
want to be a
Goofy.
4-star resort, they need to put a sit-down restaurant in there somewhere. So, I mean, they do have Goofy's Kitchen, but that's just not.
But that's
not.
buffet.
That's
Right.
Yeah, it's
different.
not. It's not a 4-star type of experience. So,
And that tower butts right up alongside the Goofy's complex and the back door of Steakhouse 55. Perhaps there is something that will be connecting to the backside of that tower specifically for DVC guests. Who knows? So there's a lot of possibilities there. Jay Pike saying, does the DVC Disneyland Hotel guest have access to the GCH hotel pool? I would imagine yes, that DVC will get access to any of the other properties that they want because they're
Yeah.
DVC.
I would hope so. Like that's at Walt Disney World. If I'm staying at Beach Club, I can go to Grand Flow and all that as long as I show like I have an active reservation. So hopefully, if they didn't have that, there will be rioting in
I feel
in downtown Disney. Picket lines all the way down from the parking lot to the Esplanade.
I think
I mean,
standard
I don't
guests
think that
probably
you
wouldn't
can
get that.
go.
Yeah.
Say that again.
I don't know if they would allow it, would they? Because I mean, even the people that are staying at like Paradise Pier right now can only go to the Disneyland pool.
Yeah, but they're
Yeah,
not
so-
DVC guests. I'm
Oh,
saying
I
DVC specific folks tend to get all access because they're DVC. At least that's what I've witnessed. So I would imagine the
You
DVC
stay
would be allowed
in your
to.
Hojo Anaheim pool, okay? That's your space, and you stay there. That's what you paid for.
If
You
want a
get your own
if you want-
bungalows.
If you want a themed pool, you can go down to the actual Hojo, not this Hojo. Yeah, something like that.
Bob saying, you guys are great. Bob,
Great.
you're great. How about
Thank
that?
you. You're great.
Bob Smith, love the man. What a great
Bob
guy.
Smith.
He's helping
Rob-
Tyler become CEO.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
he
Robert
is.
Smith. He's a good guy.
He sold me my car too. So,
How about that? Bob Smith Chevrolet.
That's right.
Bob Smith Mini. Yeah.
Oh, Bob Smith Mini. That's right.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had
And a big reminder to all of you, hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. We see all of you watching. The thumbs up means an awful lot. We know that quite a few of you, at least from the analytics, tend to watch on a normal television, which I think is really cool.
dope.
Not necessarily a computer. Some tablets in there too, but we know it's a little bit more difficult when you are watching via TV and don't necessarily have a logged in YouTube. So we appreciate you hitting that thumbs up button if you have an opportunity. It plays well with the algorithm, lets everybody know that we are here. Bob saying, yes, but Tyler Crotch for CEO. Sorry, Katrina.
Yeah.
Ah,
I'm going to
thank
be
you, thank you.
CFO, so it's okay.
Yeah.
He gets it.
She's
gets
better at the books than I am anyway. I was saying earlier in the chat, I was like, if I'm CEO, everybody gets free tickets, and she'll probably be like, oh, I don't know.
I'll be
about
like,
that, so-
absolutely not.
Can't do that. No. Andrew A saying, do we think the Main Street Electrical Parade gets shipped over to Florida and or Paint the Night returns to DCA this year? So Andrew, the rumor mill,
goodness.
which seems to be beating that drum, is exactly that the Main Street Electrical Parade is heading on out to Walt Disney World and that Paint the Night is returning. Where specifically? I don't know. I don't know if it'll be DCA or Disneyland, but that is the rumors for sure. And it has been a long time since we have seen Paint the Night. And it was the runaway hit of the 60th
Oh, yeah.
anniversary out at Disneyland. So it'd be great to see it back.
Oh, it's a phenomenal show. I love that for the 60th. I will stand on my soapbox forever and say that Main Street Electrical Parade, as great as it is, it needs to pass peacefully, and Disney World deserves its own unique, original nighttime parade. Like they can even take what Tokyo Disneyland does, which I know is amazing, and bring that out. But as someone who has been in Main Street Electrical Parade, please just let it go away. For the poor performers have to hold up the canopy, man.
Just because you had like the worst performer job doesn't mean it needs to go away. I'm sorry. You held up a canopy. I'm sorry for you.
You're biased.
That doesn't mean the whole parade needs to go away.
This show is about our opinions, our perspective. Like, there was nothing in my contract for $100,000. Okay, well, it's still being negotiated. But there's nothing saying I can't add bias.
What's happening?
That's not. I have a contract with Wade right now through the show. You don't? That's awkward.
Oh, so you have a contract, so that's more than a cup. That's okay.
You can get your own cup. That's right.
You should have wrote that in your contract. You failed.
I don't want to hear you complain about this mug.
Never again.
Sorry, there's some disconnection in my internet. Do you have whatever?
Our friend Lori Jean saying Earl of Sandwich moving in again to downtown Disney at Disneyland. Yeah, Earl of Sandwich has opened up in the former La Brea Bakery shop at the moment. Also has a table sit-down location right alongside it with ridiculous prices, if I do say so myself. Not worth it, but the quick service option right alongside it, like it always was, so you can still slide on in, get yourself some Earl of Sandwich if you want.
Yeah, it's weird to see Earl of Sandwich with like a sit-down restaurant and full bar next to it. It's very strange to me.
I want to gourmet
Absolutely. Gourmet sandwiches, yes please. WDW Explore and Chill saying, I loved it as a kid. Assuming you mean something we were just talking about. All right. Thank you for that.
I'm thinking Electrical Light Parade.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I'm thinking that too. I don't think it's the new hotel tower.
Loved it as a kid. And David saying, I'm all for Dreamlights coming to Disneyland. It's the Main Street Electrical Parade update we never got.
Preach, baby.
Preaching. Well, very good. Tyler and Katrina, you guys are heading on out to Walt Disney World. How thrilling. Any big plans while you're out there? Anything you must hit up?
Fantasmic.
Fantasmic is number one on our list. Yes, that's 100% true. We're also staying.
Literally die if I don't. Oh, yeah. And Flower and Garden, because it's my favorite.
Yeah,
naturally.
Very excited for Flower and Garden, and we're also staying at the Swan and Dolphin Reserve for a few nights.
Oh my!
Just to check it out, and we've heard a lot of good things about the new restaurant there, the Rosa Mexicana. So we're gonna eat there.
You gonna do some Fantasia Gardens mini golf?
You know what? I would love to.
Oh, okay.
I really would, because it's been a year since I've done that. That would be great. But those are kind of our biggest plans at the moment. We're gonna see Epcot Forever, of course.
Of course.
Have fun.
And we're gonna see. This is gonna be our first time seeing the splendor of Epcot once again without those hideous taco barges. So that should be. Oh, Tron, yeah, Hope. Yes,
yeah, I said
Tron.
it like 3 times, man.
No, I can't. I just don't hear liars. So.
Oh my.
Tyler thought we had something special.
Now we do. I love you. You're the golden goose.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, those are kind of our main plans that I'm super excited for. Of course, we got some of the hits too. We're gonna do Boma Breakfast one day, and probably try and hit up that Yak and Yeti, as Katrina was talking about earlier. But we'll see how things go.
Doing that Sanaa bread service.
Oh my gosh.
Bread days.
Now we have too many things. We have so many great things to do, but then too many things.
Yeah, Sanaa's like a half-day experience.
Sanaa is like so good.
Eat that bread.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
No, but we're trying Rosa Mexicana because we really wanted to try a new restaurant and have fun, and then eat guac, because guacamole, you can't go wrong. It's always good.
This is true.
Yeah, unless you go to Tortilla Joe's.
Ooh.
Now, Tortilla Joe's, I'm gonna say, used to have really great guac, and then ever since they brought it back from 2021, they pre-make it now, and it's not table side anymore, and it is poopy.
Oh. No poop. Sorry to hear that. Well, we wish you all the magic on your trip, and hope that it ends up being just as special as you want it to be. And I will tell you that there will be another Disney News Talk Live next week. Again, hit that thumbs up button. Leave the comment with the phrase that pays down below. As soon as this video is over, you are able to leave that comment with the phrase that pays this week for your very own Kingdom Report mug. You have to go back to the beginning of the show to check out exactly what that phrase was. And from all of us to all of you, thanks for joining us this week for a Disney News Talk Live.